Troubled waters here on July 4th, 2024. Breaking news out of the UK. Cineworld is still in trouble. Cineworld leaning towards a company voluntary arrangement, which could lead to site closures, according to Sky News. Let's get right into the details. According to today's headline, Cineworld wants to exit dozens of cinemas in a radical restructuring plan, closing roughly a quarter of its 100 UK theaters and negotiate rent reductions at another 50 locations. Sources said that the proposals were expected to be formally outlined to creditors, including landlords, in the coming weeks, and they added that the insolvency mechanism employed by the cinema operator was expected to be a restructuring plan rather than a company voluntary arrangement. Things are labeled a little bit differently in the UK. A restructuring plan is a first step. A CVA, or a company voluntary arrangement, is tantamount to a bankruptcy. And Cinemark is trying to take this first step of getting the landlords to voluntarily agree to a restructuring rather than go through the formal step of a CVA. Now, we are talking about Cineworld, the parent company of Regal in the United States, not to be confused with Cinemark. Cineworld is the parent company of Regal. They filed for Chapter 11 back in 2022. They exited Chapter 11 in August of 2023. Here we are in 2024, and the company is still struggling, even though it had its debt reduced by $4.5 billion and the company was taken private. You guys might be wondering, how could this happen if they restructured all of the debt? But when we go in and look at the documents that are filed over in the UK, November 2023, the company filed an update to its accounting, and they said in this document that even with the restructuring, the company still has a lot of debt and they have limited cash, and that the company's cash flow would be highly dependent on the number of movies that came out. And you guys know how the end of 2023 was, and you know how the first couple of quarters of 2024 have also been tough due to that actors and writers strike that the entire industry has been dealing with. The auditors put a note in this filing that I want to read to you guys. It says that under this scenario, assuming the group was to take no significant mitigating actions, the group would begin to experience liquidity issues in mid to late 2024. And that is exactly where we're at in the timeline for Cineworld. Those of you that are invested in AMC know that Adam Aaron has mentioned that companies are continuing to struggle even now. We recently discussed here on the channel the troubles of Alamo Drafthouse, and it sold itself to Sony Pictures. About a month ago, we had reports from Sky News that Cineworld was in talks about a sale of the company with prospective buyers. Those talks fell through, and now the company has switched to a formal restructuring process, hoping to avoid a CVA. Stay tuned to the channel here over the coming weeks. This is a developing story as Cineworld is in talks with landlords to renegotiate rents, likely to be closing many locations in Europe, potentially entering a CVA, which is tantamount to bankruptcy. If you are invested in AMC, this could be a good tailwind for AMC if Cineworld locations close down over in Europe. For AMC investors, Cineworld's continuing struggles is yet another reminder that cash is king. And if it wasn't for management's actions to ensure adequate equity raises coming in while the industry is still struggling, and retail investors' willingness to supply that capital in the secondary market, that AMC would likely, over the past couple years, have already gone through all of these struggles that Cineworld continues to go through, including Chapter 11, equity shareholders being completely wiped out, and the company being taken private. As we enter in the second half of 2024, things look to be much stronger. Same for 2025 into 2026. Keep on supporting your movie industry. Let me know down in the comments what you think about Cineworld struggling over in Europe. I am going to link the articles mentioned in this video in the video description if you want to read them for yourself. I am Tony DeNaro. Thank you for watching, and I will see ya on the next video.